Doom v Vamus v Vamus Epicureans. This is the Marvel Epic Collection Podcast One-Shot Edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'll be joined by Stojr in just a moment. We're participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and I have got last episode slide up there. Okay, here we go. So, this episode is going to be our thoughts on today's issue, which is Uncanny X Men number 151, X Men -1. Art credits are shared by Jim Sherman, Bob McLeod, and Joseph Rubinstein. Alright, so Kitty Pryde has been forced by her parents to leave the X-Men, and instead she has been enrolled in Emma Frost's private school in Massachusetts. After some tearful goodbyes, Storm drives Kitty to the new school, but Storm is confronted by Frost, who uses her telepathic powers to switch bodies with Storm, or at least we're led to believe she's using her telepathic powers to do that. Hold on to that for the next issue. Alright, Sebastian Shaw of the Hellfire Club is in on the plan, and he sent a small cadre of Sentinels to the X-Mansion just as Frost as Storm arrives, and the combination of the Sentinels and Storm is enough to trick and defeat the X-Men. Well, back in Massachusetts, Storm, in Emma Frost's body, manages to escape, and she finds Kitty Pryde. I do kind of like a body swap story if it's done well, but I hate talking about it because it kind of makes it hard to keep the characters straight. I think the way both Storm and Frost, as portrayed experiencing the other's powers, is something that's interesting. And especially a nice touch to see Storm have her knowledge of lock-picking, but lacking the skill because of Emma Frost's body not being as in tune with how to do that. So that was an interesting little insight there. I think having Kitty Pryde leave and thus being the connective tissue between the X-Men and Frost's Academy is clever, and it makes sense given the history of Kitty's parents being unsure of which school to send her to. We even get a little clarification of Xavier frowning upon changing the mind of Kitty's parents when we, the audience, know that Jean did exactly that as she was being corrupted and eventually turned into the Dark Phoenix, right? So that kind of balanced out the showing the bad thing that Jean did before, and Wolverine even suggests, hey, Xavier mind zap him, but he says, no, that's unethical. We're not going to do that. Also, I thought the title for this one was really clever. Let me pull up the splash page here on the Comic Viewer. Here, in fact, I'll even zoom in on this. So X-Men -1, and then you've got that big X going through the 1, which of course is not only tying into the X-Men, but it also shows like the 1 is being crossed out. So just a small little detail there that I thought was rather interesting and well done. Alright, those are all my thoughts for today's issue. I'm going to pass this off to Stojr, and I'll be right back to wrap things up. Well, unfortunately, as things go, Stojr got ill and was unable to record his thoughts for this episode. We wish him the best in his recovery, but he'll be back again when he's able to, and he'll do a separate episode for the issues that he missed. Hopefully we'll get him back soon, but we will definitely be back together again in the new year for more one-shots and more reviews. Speaking of, check out our YouTube page for the episode schedule and a poll for where we're going to go next. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.